Okay, so let's get into it. If you or, someone you love has to monitor glucose, the idea of a device that ends the finger pricks for good is, well, it's a game changer.
Absolutely. It's the holy grail of glucose
Yeah,
monitoring.
and that's exactly what we're looking at today. We're doing a deep dive into the claims around this Biancat non-invasive glucose monitor.
Hmm.
It's marketed as this revolutionary instant fix. No blood, no strips, no invasive sensors. It sounds
It
incredible.
sounds almost too good to be true.
Exactly. So our mission here is to take the source material you sent over, the articles, the independent analyses, and really just see where the marketing claims end and the scientific reality begins. We're focused purely on consumer transparency.
And with any health monitoring tool,
Hmm.
that's where you have to start. Trust. For something making these kinds of claims, transparency, I mean, it's just non-negotiable.
I was actually astounded by the lack of a footprint. When we ran some checks on the company's digital presence, the online analysis tools immediately came back with a low to medium trust rating for the domain.
Yeah. And what's really fascinating there is how deep the anonymity goes.
Hmm.
The domain itself is quite new, but the key thing is that the ownership of the company, the entity behind it all, is completely hidden.
A ghost entity.
It's a ghost entity, exactly. For a product that claims to monitor a health condition that can be very serious, that complete lack of a paper trail of accountability, it just raises immediate questions.
And that void extends to user data, too. I mean, if we move from the company to the real world, the sources show, well, nothing. There's essentially no credible footprint on major consumer review sites.
Right.
No long-term reviews, no verified buyers who can demonstrate they've actually used this as part of their real medical routine.
And that lack of verifiable use brings us right to the science and the regulatory standards.
Yeah.
And before we go any further, we should probably state the essential disclaimer here.
Good point.
This is educational commentary and not medical advice.
Understood. But that brings up a question for me. If the technology seems so far-fetched, how are these devices selling? Is it just that the marketing is that powerful?
Well, if you look at the bigger picture, the scientific consensus from, every major medical body, the FDA, NIH, is very clear on this.
Okay.
There is currently no consumer market approved device that can accurately, and I mean accurately, measure blood sugar without drawing blood or using an implanted sensor. And there's a good reason for that.
Explain that, because I think that's the key aha moment here.
Sure. So the medical community agrees that current technology just can't reliably get past the skin's barrier to read what's called interstitial fluid. That's the fluid around your cells, with the kind of accuracy you need for glucose.
I see.
I mean, measuring your steps is one thing, but glucose monitoring is high stakes. A reading error isn't just an inconvenience.
Right, it could be serious.
It could lead to a very poor health outcome. That's why every legitimate glucose meter on the market has to go through incredibly strict FDA-level testing and get official certification.
And the device we're looking at today, the Biancat.
It's sold through a small online shop. It lacks any of that.
Yeah.
No official certification, no clinical trial data, none of the regulatory standards that are required. The sources suggest they haven't even tried to meet those benchmarks.
And this is where it gets really interesting based on those independent reviews we found. The analysis suggests the readings fluctuate wildly, and they reportedly just do not correlate with blood sugar levels measured by medically verified devices.
And that brings up the most important point about its practical use. The core issue here isn't just that it lacks a certificate on a wall.
It's the risk.
It's the risk. It's the idea that this could offer a kind of false security. Relying on numbers that are all over the place could potentially lead to someone mismanaging a critical high or low sugar episode.
Yeah.
So after all this, what does it mean for you? I think our deep dive shows a pretty significant gap between the marketing claims and the established standards of, well, of scientific verification and corporate transparency.
The accountability just isn't there.
It's zero. And the technology described just doesn't align with the current medical consensus.
So, given how critical accurate glucose monitoring is, I think the final thought here is, look, the choice to try any new technology is obviously up to the individual, but the findings really suggest you need to manage your expectations. And above all, talk to your doctor first whenever you're thinking about your personal health.